The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Whether you're new to sales or a lifetime veteran, the Blackbelt Sales Podcast will sharpen your sword and guide you to master the art of sales. And now, here's your host, the ninja himself, Gene Slade.
Welcome to the Blackbelt Sales Podcast. I'm on today with Don Johnson, one of our executive coaches here at Lead Ninja, and we're talking about the next live event that's coming up, and it's May 29th through June 2nd. And we're going to share with you today some of the things that we're going to be going over in that class. But first, if you're watching this live, will you please put live down in the comments? And if you're watching it on a replay, just type replay down in the comments. Pretty please, and thank you in advance. Really appreciate you doing that. Please do it right now. After that, I would also love for you to throw in the comments, what is the number one objection that gets you stopped in your job? What's the number one thing that keeps you from transacting business with the client, from making a sale with that client, doing the right thing for them? What's the number one objection? I want to see it in the comments as Don and I kind of open this episode of the Black Belt Sales Podcast up for you. Don, thanks for running the group for me for the last 2 weeks, man. That was awesome while we were out in Texas doing our on-sites and doing a little bit of speaking. Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. It's always fun to get to train guys, and we're having some success stories that I am just stoked about. Guys coming out of the mansion, changing their lives. Darren is an incredible example of what's going on. Went through the certification in his 30 days, which took his commitment to him. He had to make it the priority of his life, and he did. He learned so many things, and the numbers he shared, it just blow you away with. It changes his whole trajectory of his life and his income and what he thinks is even possible. He's doing in a month, what was taking 6 months, maybe longer to do, so incredible.
And running fewer calls to accomplish it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Incredible.
Paint that picture for them, Don. So Darren, in all of last year and all of 2023, had a total of $283,000 in revenue generated. Now, that's not a lot of revenue, right? A business owner might even look at that and say, gosh, that truck is really not even making me any money on the road. It's just breaking even or costing me just a little bit for the liability of having somebody drive it around, right?
Right.
But Darren has done over $100,000 in his last 30 days. Last 30 days, guys. And he says, I keep hitting my goal and I just have to keep moving it up and up and up. So his goal for the 12 months after our training is $1.5 million. So, I mean, if that doesn't say everything that needs to be said, that his goal is 6 times what he did last year, what kind of difference would that make for you as a technician? Or what kind of difference would that make for you as an owner, for him to not get stopped up on some of the things that we're going to be teaching at the mansion? And Dylan's a great example too.
Yeah. Out in California, Dylan has phenomenally changed his thought process, his numbers, just how he approaches every call, and just phenomenal. He hadn't finished the certification, and sometimes I like to kind of get a little mad about that people learn just enough to be, to see some success, and then they want to slow down. And you're like, no, this is when you speed up. This is when you want to get more. And
you're gaining momentum.
Yes. But from just a few $100 average ticket to, I think, close to $2,000 average revenue per call, not even average ticket. There's a difference in the world. guys will distort numbers sometimes, but revenue per call takes into your warranty, takes into your account of maintenance on a 1-year-old system, takes into account a callback, takes into account everything you go on, still averaging $2,000 of revenue per call that he's been on, or very, very close. I don't remember the
It's
number.
worth saying, too, that neither one of them, I don't think either one of them sells systems. I think they have to turn them over. I know Darren definitely has to turn them over. They're looking at giving him a book now so that he can sell systems. But
he is that. Dylan has sold a couple of systems in his, and they do sell systems out there, but it's been one in which he's been on maintenances that were less than 5 years old. So he probably has sold 2 systems, and it probably was the only 2 that had any age on them. So his numbers have come from maintenance calls. I was going to say that about Darren. We said he's planning on doing 1.5 or did $100,000 in the last 30 days when those
without
are all
selling systems or duct systems even.
Yeah, and those are maintenance calls, because I call him a service tech. He's really a maintenance tech when you think in the terms of the type of call he's running. Yeah, he is a service tech. He can handle the others, but how many of those have it been in the last 30 days? The service calls really have only turned on for most companies in the last 1 week, past 7 days, maybe. So,
it's worth mentioning that the majority of the calls that these guys are running are maintenance calls. Yeah. I'd like to know if there's other people out there. Listen, if you're doing over $100,000 in IAQ and stuff like that on a weekly basis, put what your numbers are in IAQ, because that's basically what we're talking about is the Breathe Easy packages that we're going to teach people how to sell at the mansion. If your guys could generate $100,000 just in maintenance sales, and we've got people doing way, way, way more than that, but what kind of difference would that make? Can you see now why I say that you're paying for the training, whether you get it or not? I mean, yeah, $6,500 is not a tiny amount of money, right? But it's not a lot of money either, especially when you take into account that he's sold $100,000 in IAQ in the last 30 days.
Yeah, we should have taken Darren on a 25% of your revenue for the next 6-month program. I mean, we'll just take a quarter of your, 25% of your extra sales. We'll subtract off what you had done the year before or the previous 30 days, and 25% would have resulted in a much, much larger number. And I jokingly say there's people out there that would probably go, "Oh, never work. I'll take you up on that." Well, do hit us up. Maybe Gene will make you a deal. I don't know that deal's out there, but I could finance one of those if you want to play the game myself.
I'm having a conversation with somebody about an on-site in that kind of a scenario, a revenue share scenario. And I'm totally cool with it because it's going to work out way better for me than for that client. But hey, I'll do the deal if the number's right.
Yeah. When guys come to the mansion, I want to see them leave there with something they can use, the cornerstone scripts, payment plans, how to handle talking about finance. I hate that word. How to handle closing deals. And I want them to then stay with the program over the next year, but I want them to stay with it for 30 or 60 days and get their certification. That really is exciting when guys commit and work on it, because it gives us so much stuff that we can teach them. If we're still trying to teach them how to ask a question 6 months later, it's so much of a potential that we could have had them up to. So I'm really excited when you come to the mansion, you leave there ready to make sales, so fired up that you just you set the world on fire. It's so incredible. But stay with the program and you keep getting more Gene's time, more my time, more attention from Eric and Darren and all the guys in the group that just want to help. Once you get to a certain level of training, thought process, mentality, there's so much pleasure you get out of sharing with other people how you did it, how you got to where you were for Darren or whatever, Eric. And most of the comments, these guys are adding, answers to most of the questions on the Facebook group. It's in so much kind of connection that's happening right now.
It makes our job a lot easier. Makes our job a lot easier too.
Oh yeah, especially when whatever 50, 60 people are uploading videos. If they ever one of them put up just one a week, that's a lot of videos. I'm okay with Eric and them watching them in video, helping us grade them and getting to them quicker. It all feeds into each other. It's great to have those guys.
And guys, what Don's referring to is that we have something called the Lead Ninja Mastermind. And it's like a continuing education or ongoing education program where twice a week we meet with everybody in a group and we do one-on-one coaching in a group setting. And typically people that come out and go through the mansion experience end up coming on board to that program as well. But I mention it because you don't have to come to one of the live events to get into that mastermind with us.
Right.
Everything I have ever written or done or scripted or closing documents or materials or anything that I use in sales is all inside that group. So if you need to get into a mentorship group like that, you might want to put mastermind down below, or you might want to text me and just say, hey, listen, I could use some help. And I'll give you the first 30 minutes for free. And then I'll share with you a couple different things you could do to get better. So if that's something that sounds like you, if that's how your life looks right now, just go ahead and text me. The number's on the screen if you're on a video. It's 239-848-6533. For those of you on our audio stations, 239-848-6533. Just shoot me a text. That's actually my real telephone number. You're not going to get AI Gene or anything like that. And we'll set up a little time to just talk. Heck, I might even be able to squeeze something in today. I know I got a pretty busy schedule, but at least today is busy. But Don, let's talk about some of the things that people come out here to the event to solve, right? Yeah. Some of the objections. So Brittany, did we get anybody putting in what their number one objection is? If we have not gotten that yet, please type into the comments right now. What is the number one objection that you get? I really, really, truly want to know. So things done like, I want to think about it. We're going to cover that. Like that's the number one objection that I used to get out in the field.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what you experienced with your company too.
Certainly you hear your texts come back all the time with they're going to, they told me they want to think about it, and
they're 90% sure.
Yeah. They just need to think about it a little bit. Okay. How do we close those at a higher percentage rather than hope that we get that call? Right. So I want to think about it. Your price is $5,000 more than what I expected, or $3,000 more than the other quote, or anything about price. How are you going to close that one? How are you going to make sure that you get your odds up? Nothing's 100%, but if we take you from 10 or 15 or 30% close to 60 or 70, what just amazing difference that does.
We're talking about doubling your sales revenue at that stage of the game. And
probably even higher. That's doubling your close rate, but probably at a 10 or 15% higher, $3,000-$4,000 higher dollar. So you take a 10, 15% revenue increase on a 100% close ratio. Yeah, it actually is much, much higher than that. Whatever, it turns into, you go 230, 250% growth because the number's higher, the close ratio is higher. And some of our guys then just actually feel like I can run a few less calls and still double their income. And that'd be a great goal for guys. That's what we talk about, how to double your income and run less calls. Wouldn't that be the solution? Y'all want. You and I are so desensitized to this, but I feel like there are listeners out there right now, people watching this or listening to this, that are hearing, I can double my sales in 30 or 60 days. And it just seems like it's so far out there into outer space as a possibility for me if I'm a technician driving around listening to or watching this. And yeah, I think we're desensitized because we constantly see it. We still get joy out of it. Corbin Allen went from 2.4 to like almost $5 million. Yeah,
Billy
4.9.
2 something to 4 million, and now he's tracking at 6 million.
Woo.
Eric is got a goal for 5 million this year. I mean, like, we see it all the time, guys that were freaking homeless or guys that were in prison locked up, and now they're making $400,000 or $500,000 a year
In an honest,
and it happens
ethical way. Because sometimes people, the thing you hear is, if those guys are doing that, they must be crooks. No, they're not. They are honest, ethical, putting it out there and letting people decide, and then handling the objection in a way that gets the client to decide to come to their own conclusion to move forward, right?
Yeah.
When the client can come to their own conclusion that they want to do something and they want to do it with you, hidden sales so much easier. That's a big part of that. So never want anybody to think when we throw these numbers out there, if you're doing double in 30 days, you must be teaching people how to be crooks. It's nothing to do with that. It has to do with giving clients the choice and being happy if they choose to do one thing or 10 items. It's okay.
Right.
Happy. Consistency actually raises your ticket average in revenue per call better than the grand slam kind of guys that are out there that try to sell everything or nothing. And they, some of those everything and nothing guys are doing the 20-30 minute tune-ups and are out if there's not a big opportunity, or if the customer isn't willing to show their cards early enough, they burn it and move on. That's not our philosophy. Every call has value.
That kind of
deserves our best.
That kind of makes me think about Bellamy this morning, right? We have these contests, guys. Like, it's not like a prize that you get for winning the contest, but we have these contests with ourselves. It's really more for bragging rights than anything.
Yeah, it's a pride contest, isn't it? It's bragging rights.
So, and the contest that we're talking about with Bellamy is we try to get guys to see how many calls they can go in a row without getting a zero ticket. And I would ask any of you out there, I would challenge any of you that have been in the business for any amount of time to do that. Bellamy has been in the business for a long time, but never really had a lot of great success in sales. He has just hit his 20th call in a row without a zero ticket. And to me, that's phenomenal as a business owner, because I used to have guys that they had 30, 40, 50% closing rates at tops, a lot of them, when they came to me.
And the irony of his zero, he lost his streak to a demand call, a no cooling call, which almost sometimes we go into it going, we know we're getting something. And I'm not going to say that Bellamy did this. I'm not saying, but sometimes we go into a call and it's so obvious that we're going to sell something that we shortcut the process and then we end up messing it up. Stay true. Stay golden, pony boy, but stay true to yourself. But it's funny because it's
with the obvious.
Yeah, stay to the process. But it's sometimes funny. The obvious call where we know we're going to make a sale often becomes the one that frustrates us that we couldn't close it because it was so obvious that we, didn't follow the process and we started acting just like everybody else has treated that.
You left something out of the recipe.
And now it's not the same,
No. But guys, imagine your technicians having that kind of mindset where their effort, their aim is to have no zero tickets. Like, if you just, Darren was saying something about this. He was like, what really made the difference in my revenue? He said it was not having the zero tickets. He said it didn't matter what the price or the dollar amount of the call was. I didn't care if it was 500, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, whatever it was. But not getting those zero tickets adds up at the end of the week to a significant increase in revenue and a significant increase in income.
Right.
So
I'm so proud of the guys. Again, they come to the mansion and we're promoting this. If you come to the mansion, you're going to hear how to do how to handle a payment plan close, right? Well, first, how to even ask for the order, which is how many times do techs have never been taught that, right? They just assume you're in this business, that. How to then handle a money objection or a payment plan close. I don't have the money, or let me think about it. How to handle a real objection, like talk to the spouse, or it's not even a real objection, but talk to the spouse, or let me think about it, or let me do my research online. All of those hit our guys. I'm going to run you through the ringers on that. Make sure you've heard the way to handle those. Your price is too high. If you're a comfort advisor, how to ask questions that get the client to get involved in the process, so they feel like they are getting something that's built for them, rather than the guy's just selling me what he wants to sell me. So a lot of great stuff going on at the mansion. I know this is kind of our infomercial for it, but I'm so proud of what we have done and what the guys have done from the mansion through their certification into the mastermind program, changing the trajectory of their career. They now believe in themselves.
And changing the trajectory of their families and for generations. I mean,
Wow.
it's serious. So, guys,
Yeah.
if I could take the liberty for just maybe 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to share with you what you're going to get when you come out to the next live event in Orlando, Florida at Grand Hollow Mansion. All right. So I'll do the best that I can, but we're going to give you scripting, actually word for word, proven award-winning stuff. All right. Starting from the pre-appointment telephone call where you call the client to let them know on your way, to a greeting customized for service calls or maintenance calls or even quotes. You're going to get how to present the pricing to the client, how to create a prioritized list. We're going to give you 12 or, well, probably 8 to 12 indoor air quality products, some education on them that you probably didn't even know existed, yet alone how to sell them. We're going to share with you how to close the deal using payment plans, 2 different ways to do that. We're going to help you to be able to handle objections like, I want to think about it. I got to talk to my spouse. I got to get other quotes. My brother's neighbor's uncle in Pennsylvania does HVAC. I want to call him. Oh, and by the way, this isn't just for HVAC. This can be for roofing, HVAC, plumbing. We've got solar guys that come through the class.
Right.
This is all of the trades, okay? Every one of the trades can benefit from this.
Water filtration companies.
Plumbers.
Yeah, plumbers, we think of, but there's water filtration companies and all they sell that the water filtration and the chlorine presentation alone can add.
It's killer.
Yeah,
it's
add
killer.
to your process. So,
We've
if you're
got
just a water filtration company, this is for you. This is really
for sure.
Yeah.
So guys, we're going to share with you how to overcome things like, I want to wait. I know that a lot of people are saying, clients out there have been telling you, hey, listen, I want to put this off. We're going to show you how to absolutely obliterate that objection. People want to get other quotes. We'll show you how to obliterate that. We're going to help you to overcome the price objection and how to price condition people. I mean, the class is so full of gold. I mean, if you want to become a multimillionaire and own your own business someday, you absolutely have got to find yourself a way to get to Orlando. And look, if you can't afford the seat, text me. My number was put up earlier. She'll put it up again right now. Text me and I will help you figure out how to afford to get there. All right. I don't want to leave anybody behind. And some of you I know are just barely keeping your head above the water right now. And that's the worst feeling in the world, to be out there alone, sinking, and not have anybody that can lend you a hand or toss you a life ring. That's what Don and I do. All right. And we're super, super, super passionate about it. And I've got a money back guarantee for every one of you that signs up for the Mansion event. If after the first day, you don't feel like it's worth what you've paid already on the first day, I'll give you your money back. It's not a problem. You can go spend the rest of the time at Disneyland. Go get you some of them mouse ears.
That's saying those who need the training the most often feel like they're the ones that can least afford.
Yeah. And if you can't afford it, isn't that exactly the reason that you got to figure out how to make it there?
It is.
Because if nothing changes, Don, nothing changes.
Nothing changes until something changes, I guess.
You got to take some action, guys. You got to stop being so effing afraid that you're not going to be able to make your car payment. I've seen somebody's car payment paralyze them with fear that they weren't going to be able to make it. What are they going to do? Charge you a late fee it's going to be like 3 months before they come repo that damn thing. You'll be figuring it out before then. Like if you had a badass salesperson in your back pocket that could coach you every single day on every single call out there, do you think you would fail? I don't think so. It's really hard to fail with people like Don and Gene Slade in your pocket. All right. What you're going to find is that you're probably going to increase your income by at least 50% the first year, at least.
Yeah. And I will say that the guys who put the effort in get most of our effort back for them.
That's right.
If you're the type that I'm going to listen, but I'm going to be skeptical, or I'm going to go out to prove you wrong. Well, we've had a few that do the system just to prove us wrong, and end up with the funniest stories later. Like, I knew it would never work. So I said this, or I did this, and the customer bought, and it blew me away. It was hilarious. Some of the guys that want to prove us wrong, and they come in and do the training, use the stuff. And then they realize, wait a minute, I just made more money. I think I'm going to try this again. But the guys that have the most success kind of take 30 to 60 days, 1 to 2 months, and every minute of their life, every spare minute of their life, they consume it. All their drive time is listening to these podcasts or the videos. Every extra downtime they have, they're reading and posting their videos to get their certification. It's only like, don't want to misstate, like 20 little steps that you have to take and you're certified. It's a little too simple now that you look at it. Why isn't everybody doing it? But it's only like 20 little things we want you to learn. But my gosh, those 20 items are just incredible.
Don, you're talking about people saying that I don't think it'll work. And we have had people that have purchased the program, got into it just to prove that it wouldn't work. And they had massive, massive successes. And I laugh at that. But I also remember having mentors that would tell me to say this or to say that. And I thought in my brain, there's no effing way that's going to work. Right. And then I got myself into a position where I didn't have anything else to say. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways, just to prove it doesn't work. And then boom, next thing you know, I've got a sale on my hands and I'm sitting there going, how did this happen? It's crazy. And so guys, I want so bad for you to have a better life. I want so bad for you to be able to take care of your wife or your kids or your mom or your dad or your family so much better. And you'll find out just how much of a family it is when you make it out to either the event or you jump into our mastermind. Mm-hmm. Let's wrap this up, Don. Guys, I appreciate you showing up again today. Will you please share this with somebody? And by the way, if you're watching this live, will you just put live down in the comments? If it's on a replay, put replay down in the comments for me, please. Please don't make me beg. I feel like I'm begging right now, right? But help us with the algorithm. Also, right. Don, I wanted to just acknowledge you and let you know that when I was out at the event in Dallas 2 weeks ago, I had several people that would come up, technicians who had come up and said, hey man, we listened to your podcast on Spotify. We listened to your podcast on Apple Music, and it's made Apple Podcast. It's made a massive difference for us. I'm having conversations with guys who are 8 months into the business and have already done $2 million in sales off of the free advice that you and I give away every, Tuesday and Thursday or whatever it is. So I want you to know that even though people don't necessarily always like and smash that heart button, maybe they don't follow instructions and they're like, don't tell me what to do. I'm not leaving a comment. Fuck you guys. Right. It still is making a difference, what we're doing here. So I got the pleasure of experiencing that, and I want to just pass it on to you, let you know. So
there's probably guys out there that want the information, but don't want their competitors to to get the same information because they're scared they might get beat because of that.
Oh, yeah.
But once you get past a certain level, you realize you're not competing with your competitor. You're not. There's no competition. There's just you improving yourself, and that becomes different. I've told when I had my company, I would tell everybody I can give my competitors my playbook and my scripts and my everything, and I'll still beat them because they think, well, they won't implement like we would implement. And that's what we're looking for. People who are willing to implement when they have been given something incredible. When they would say there's gold 3 feet down, are you the guy that's going to dig for it? Or are you going to say, well, if you'll uncover it, I'll pick it up. But are you the guy that will dig those last 3 feet that it takes to get to gold? Right? We can show you the mine, but you're still going to have to dig a little bit, right? You still have to work.
If not, just imagine what your life is going to look like 20 years from now, rotting away behind that steering wheel in that service truck, not having gotten any better. Can you imagine what the rest of your miserable life is going to be like if you don't end up getting something like this? And God forbid you end up going up against your competitor and they have my training. You're toast. You are toast. So I hope that you get it before your competitor gets it. My cell number again is 239-848-6533. Shoot me a text. I will help you. I'll give you some time. I got your back. All right.
If we've ever, if you've taken something from one of these videos and utilized it and made some money, put that in the post for us. I mean, share
this.
Yeah. Get it in front of other people. It helps us out, but it makes this so much more fun when we get the feedback. And it is incredible. Some of the success stories we get, we kind of promote them a little bit. Not saying that it's us doing this. We promote them because we're so proud of the guys like Eric and Dylan and Darren and Bellamy and even I'm so proud of Bobby right now. That's I just really love seeing his progress.
You talking about Bobby White?
I haven't heard from Bobby in a long time. Bobby White, he needs to come back on here. But Bobby Saunier right now is.
Oh yeah.
I'm really proud. Yeah, Robert, excuse me. I really, really proud to see the effort and the internal just fortitude and desire he has to be successful. That's what I'm so proud of.
He's going up against some challenges like with implementing and learning it, but he's staying persistent. And guys, I will tell you, persistence beats talent when talent is not persistent.
Yeah, talent doesn't work, right? That's exactly it.
Persistence pays off. That's how I got to be a collegiate athlete. That's how I got to get recruited to the University of Tennessee to wrestle. It wasn't because I had a lot of talent. It was because I had a lot of drive and discipline, and I was focused, and I was just not gonna effing quit.
Right. If you're the type person that says, I don't want to embarrass myself because I'm ADHD or learning things in school. School was not me. You'd be surprised how much we work with people and customize it to the point where you can. And there's guys in the class that that guys I've taught didn't even have a high school education, struggled, didn't even get their GED, and they become very good at this process because they stay with it. And we teach the visuals. We teach the visuals so that all this stuff comes easier for you. So, they're going
to love the HVAC guys. If there's I don't know how many HVAC guys will be at this one, but if you're in HVAC or water treatment, Don has developed some phenomenal techniques and tactics that we use to help you memorize all the negative side effects and the benefits of the air quality stuff and the water treatment stuff. My God, if you miss this, you're literally giving away $1 million over the next 12 months. Like just giving it away. If you don't come, you must hate money.
Yeah, goodness. If you hate money, post that because that'd be crazy.
Put that down in the comments. But I hate money. Okay.
We'll understand that we won't ask you to come back to the mansion if you hate money.
We're going to do a few more of these podcasts than we normally do over the next 2 weeks before we get to the mansion. But Don, thanks for coming on the show today and helping me promote this. And thanks for being a great part of our business. We appreciate you.
It's really my pleasure. It's a lot of fun. So thank you, Gene. See you next
Signing
time.
off, guys. If you have never given us a review and you're on like a Spotify or a Apple or something like that podcast, man, we would really, really, really appreciate that. If you want to review us somewhere else, maybe you're watching on Facebook or one of the video platforms, you can always type into the Google, just type in Lead Ninja Bonita Springs, Bonita Springs, and you'll see all the other 5-star reviews that we've got there. Thanks for hanging out with us at the Black Belt Sales Podcast. We will see you tomorrow.